Hello and welcome. I'm really glad you're here today. In this video, I want to share gentle Japanese ways of self-healing and self-care that can quietly support your daily life. Do you ever feel tired even when nothing seems wrong? Busy days, constant pressure, and unspoken stress slowly wear us down physically and emotionally until we realize we're surviving, not truly living. I've been there too, wondering how to care for myself without adding more effort or guilt. This video was created for moments like that. Inspired by Japanese philosophies and everyday habits, we'll explore how healing can happen through moderation, simplicity, mindful routines, and small, kind choices, not extremes. They are practical, gentle, and realistic for modern life. If you're longing for calm balance and a softer way to live, stay with me. Watch until the end, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so we can continue discovering meaningful ways to care for ourselves together. Now we start with the foundation of today's journey, not too much, not too little. I want to begin with a simple idea that quietly shapes everyday life in Japan, living at a just enough pace. The Japanese call it hodo-hodo, not too much, not too little. It sounds modest, almost ordinary, yet this mindset has deeply influenced how people care for their bodies and minds without forcing themselves to extremes. In daily life, hodo-hodo shows up most clearly in how people work. There is a strong focus on being fully present during working hours, but also a growing awareness that work should not consume every corner of life. Many people try to finish tasks with concentration, then consciously step away when the day ends. Bringing work home both physically and emotionally is seen as something that slowly erodes inner balance. This boundary becomes a quiet form of self-respect. The same philosophy appears in eating habits. Rather than eating until completely full, many Japanese follow the idea of stopping at around 70 or 80%. Meals are not rushed, and satisfaction comes from balance, not excess. Over time, this habit supports digestion, stabilizes energy levels, and reduces the heavy feeling that often follows overeating. It is a gentle reminder that the body thrives on moderation. Rest is treated with the same kindness. When fatigue appears, there is less pressure to push through at all costs. Allowing oneself to pause to sleep earlier or to do less for a day is not viewed as weakness. Instead, it is seen as maintenance, much like caring for a well-used tool so it can last longer. By living hodo-hodo, people protect themselves from burnout and emotional exhaustion. Energy is not spent all at once, but saved and renewed gradually. Over time, this way of living creates a steadier rhythm where healing happens quietly and well-being is sustained rather than chased. To continue this gentle rhythm of care, tomorrow's video will explore practical ways to bring calm and order to the most important areas of your home. Don't miss it. These simple ideas are deeply useful and something you'll very likely need. Once this sense of just enough settles in, it naturally changes how we see the world around us, including how we see imperfection, age, and simplicity. Now we move into finding peace in imperfection. This way of thinking is known as wabi-sabi. It is not a rule to follow, but a perspective, one that allows life to be simple, incomplete, and still deeply meaningful. In Japanese aesthetics, wabi-sabi teaches us to find beauty in things that are modest, aged, or slightly worn. A cup with a small crack, a wooden table softened by time, or fabric that is faded with use is not considered inferior. Instead of rushing to replace old items, many people choose to keep what still serves them well. There is a sense of gratitude toward objects that have shared daily life with us. This habit quietly reduces waste, but more importantly, it softens the constant urge to seek something newer or better. The same mindset applies to how people see themselves. Under wabi-sabi, there is less pressure to look flawless or to be productive every single moment. Appearance does not need to be perfect to be respectable, and effort is valued more than outcome. On days when energy is low, it is acceptable to complete only part of a task list. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Living this way gradually eases social comparison. When perfection is no longer the goal, there is less need to measure oneself against others. The mind becomes quieter and self-criticism loses its sharp edge. Over time, this creates a deeper sense of contentment, not because life is ideal, but because it is honest. Wabi-sabi reminds us that peace often comes from embracing what already is, rather than endlessly chasing what is not. When we stop chasing perfection, even the smallest actions begin to feel different. At this point, we turn to everyday actions into mindful rituals. In Japan, there is a concept called teine dingju, which means doing things gently, thoughtfully, and with respect. It shows up in ordinary moments. Instead of placing a phone on the table carelessly, it is set down softly. Doors are opened with attention, chairs are pulled out without noise, and a cup of water is held with awareness. These movements may seem insignificant, but when repeated throughout the day, they quietly reduce unconscious tension. The body softens and the mind begins to follow. Over time, daily life feels less rushed and actions feel more connected. Another way this mindfulness appears is by turning familiar tasks into small rituals. Making tea, brewing coffee, or boiling water is not treated as something to finish as quickly as possible. The focus shifts from the result to the process itself. Steam slowly rising, the sound of water being poured, the warmth traveling through the hands. These moments anchor the mind in the present. When attention rests, their worries about what comes next naturally fade. This gentle focus helps the day begin with calm instead of urgency. Japanese mindfulness also invites us to listen with all of our senses, not just see or smell. When a candle or incense is lit, attention is given to the flame, the scent, and the rhythm of burning. While drinking tea, the warmth spreading through the chest becomes part of the experience. By engaging multiple senses at once, the mind has fewer places to wander. The experience becomes deeper, slower, and more nourishing. Through these simple habits, everyday life turns into a continuous practice of care. Stress is softened, focus improves, and the body and mind begin to move together again. Healing in this way happens quietly, right in the middle of ordinary moments. This mindfulness doesn't stay only in our hands or thoughts. It gently extends into how we care for our space and how we release the weight of the day. Next, we arrive at cleansing the mind through everyday habits. One meaningful practice is washing the hands as a form of transition. In Japan, this action carries more meaning than basic hygiene. Washing hands when returning home becomes a clear signal that one phase of the day has ended. As water flows over the skin, attention is placed on its temperature, its movement, and the sensation of cleanliness. This moment creates a boundary between the outside world and the private space of home. Stress, noise, and emotional residue from the day are symbolically left behind. The mind begins to slow down, and the body receives permission to rest. Another important habit is short but consistent tidying. Rather than saving all cleaning for one exhausting session, many people focus on small actions done regularly. Spending just 5 minutes arranging a desk, folding bedding, or wiping a surface can make a noticeable difference. These small acts reduce visual clutter, which directly affects mental clutter. When the space feels calmer, the mind follows naturally. Tidying in this way feels less like a chore and more like a quiet reset. Closely connected to this is the concept of seiri and seitan, sorting and organizing. Seiri means separating what is truly needed from what is no longer useful. Seitan means arranging what remains so it is easy to find and return. This process is not rushed. Items that no longer serve a purpose are gently let go, while useful things are given clear places. Over time, the room becomes easier to maintain and daily life flows more smoothly. Together, these habits create a sense of order without pressure. A tidy space supports a lighter mind, and a lighter mind makes it easier to rest, focus, and breathe. Through these simple routines, mental purification happens quietly, woven into everyday life rather than added on top of it. As our environment becomes calmer, another important boundary begins to appear. Now let's talk about separating work and home. This way of thinking is expressed through uchi and soto, inside and outside, and it deeply shapes how people protect their emotional well-being. In Japanese society, the public space is where roles, responsibilities, and social expectations exist. Home, on the other hand, is considered a place of return. To support this separation, small physical actions are used as signals. Changing clothes after coming home is one of them. It is not only about comfort, but also about marking the end of the working role. With that simple act, the body understands that the day's demands can be set down. This boundary also applies to emotions. Stress, frustration, or tension gathered outside is not intentionally carried into the private space. Instead, there is an effort to pause, breathe, and release those feelings before interacting with loved ones or resting. Even a short moment of silence can help reset the emotional tone. Creating daily quiet time is another way to protect the inner space. This does not need to be long or formal. Sitting quietly with a cup of tea, turning off devices for a few minutes, or simply being alone without stimulation allows the mind to settle. These moments reinforce the idea that personal time is not a luxury, but a necessity. By respecting Uchi and Soto, mental health is gently protected. The home becomes more than a physical shelter, it becomes a place where energy is restored. Through clear boundaries, life feels less overwhelming and healing can happen naturally. With this inner space protected, it becomes easier to notice what has always been there quietly supporting us: light, air. From here, we move into reconnect with nature every day. Learning to notice and welcome it is one of the simplest ways people in Japan care for their mental and emotional well-being. One quiet habit is spending a few moments with natural light. Soft sunlight, especially in the morning, is valued not only for warmth, but for how it gently wakes the body. Sitting near a window, standing beneath a tree, or letting sunlight rest on the face helps regulate the body's internal rhythm. Without effort, the mind feels lighter and more balanced. This small pause with light becomes a way to reconnect with time and seasons, even in an urban environment. Another common practice is refreshing the living space with morning air. Opening the window early in the day is more than a practical habit, it is a symbolic reset. Fresh air flows in carrying subtle sounds and scents from outside while stale air is released. Bedroom study areas and workspaces feel renewed. This simple exchange improves air quality and creates the feeling of a clean start, as if the day is being gently invited inside. Gratitude toward nature is also expressed in very quiet ways. It does not require words or rituals. Simply noticing the color of the sky, the warmth of the sun, or the coolness of the air is enough. A few slow breaths, shoulders relaxed, allow the body to soften. In those moments, attention shifts away from worries and returns to the present. These habits may seem small, but together they build a sense of connection. Nature is no longer something distant or occasional. It becomes part of daily life, even between concrete walls. Through light, air, and awareness, the city feels less overwhelming and the heart feels gently supported by the natural wow. Next, we explore healing through sound and space, focusing on how gentle sounds and natural materials quietly transform the home into a place of calm and restoration. Natural sounds are often brought into the home in simple ways. The soft movement of wind, the quiet flow of water, or the light crackling of a candle creates a rhythm that the body naturally responds to. Wind chimes hung near a window move with the air and mark the passing of time without demanding attention. These sounds do not distract. Instead, they gently anchor the mind, helping it slow down and release tension. In a world filled with sharp and constant noise, such softness creates a feeling of safety and calm. Sound is closely connected to space. The materials used inside the home also shape how sound and air move. Natural materials like wood bamboo or woven mats are common in Japanese interiors. They absorb harsh noise, regulate humidity, and create a warm, grounded atmosphere. Walking barefoot on a mat, touching a wooden surface, or sitting near bamboo furniture brings a subtle sensory comfort that synthetic materials often lack. These choices may seem simple, but they quietly influence emotional balance. A room that sounds gentle and feels natural invites rest without effort. Breathing becomes slower, thoughts become less scattered, and the body begins to relax on its own. There is no need to escape the city or redesign everything. Even small changes, a wind chime, a natural candle, a wooden object can shift the mood of a space. Through sound and material, the home becomes a place that supports healing. It does not overwhelm the senses. Instead, it listens, holds, and restores. Now we come to stabilize emotions from within, where breath, voice, and small spatial rituals support emotional balance without force or suppression. In Japanese tradition, this area is considered the center of physical and emotional stability. When stress arises, instead of reacting immediately, attention is guided downward. Breathing becomes slower and deeper, allowing the abdomen to expand naturally. This shift sends a calming signal to the nervous system. With each slow exhale, tension softens and emotional reactions lose their sharpness. Over time, this habit makes it easier to pause before responding, creating space between feeling and action. Another important way emotions are released is through the voice. Sound does not need to be controlled or performed. Singing alone, humming, or speaking freely in a private space allows feelings to move rather than stay trapped inside. The vibration of the voice helps loosen emotional pressure stored in the body. Even quiet singing or spoken words can bring surprising relief. This practice acknowledges that emotions need expression, not suppression. The environment also plays a role in emotional cleansing. In Japanese households, small symbolic gestures are often used to refresh the atmosphere. Placing clean salt in a corner of a room is one example. Salt has long been associated with purification, but beyond symbolism, the act itself creates intention. It marks a desire to clear stagnant energy and begin again. The space feels lighter and the mind responds to that subtle shift. Together, these practices work gently but effectively. Breath calms the body, voice releases emotion, and space supports renewal. None of them demand perfection or effort. They remind us that emotional care can be quiet, simple, and deeply human, woven naturally into daily life. Finally, we arrive at support physical well-being, looking at simple Japanese body care habits that awaken the body gently and nurture health through warmth and ease. In many Japanese daily habits, physical care is quiet, gentle, and deeply respectful of the body's natural rhythm. Instead of forcing energy, these practices focus on waking the body slowly and allowing comfort to lead the way. My mornings often begin with light movement. Nothing intense, just stretching my arms, rolling my shoulders, gently rotating my joints. These small motions help the body remember how to move after sleep. I notice my blood circulation improving, my muscles warming, and my breathing becoming more open. It feels less like exercise and more like greeting my body with kindness. This gentle start creates a sense of readiness rather than pressure. Another habit I treasure is drinking warm water in the morning. In Japan, this is a simple yet meaningful ritual. The water is boiled and allowed to cool slightly before drinking. As it travels down, it brings warmth and comfort, especially to the stomach. Digestion feels smoother, and there is a subtle sense of calm spreading through the body. It's a quiet reminder to nourish myself before rushing into the day. Warm water also plays a role in relaxation later on. Even without a full bath, soaking my hands in warm water can bring surprising relief. The warmth eases tension in the nerves and softens tightness in the shoulders and neck. Sometimes I close my eyes and let the heat do its work. These moments feel grounding, as if the body is being gently reassured. At its heart, this video has shared a simple truth. Healing and self-care do not need to be dramatic or extreme. Through balance, gentle routines, mindful actions, and respect for inner boundaries, the Japanese way reminds us that caring for ourselves can be quiet, steady, and deeply human. If you are feeling tired, overwhelmed, or slowly rebuilding yourself, know that you are not alone. I hope these ideas feel like a hand beside yours, reminding you that recovery is not a race and that small, kind habits truly matter. To continue this journey, I have a dedicated video on practical ways to bring calm and order to the most important spaces in your home. I truly recommend watching it right after this one. It's filled with useful insights, and missing it would mean missing something that can genuinely improve daily life. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. You deserve a life that feels lighter and more enjoyable. Share this message with friends and loved ones, because everyone needs to learn how to care for themselves better.